Hey guys, what's up? Hope you're having a good time. As you can tell, I'm doing my laundry right now, folding some clothes because I am an adult and adulting is great. Yeah. Anyways, on today's episode, we're going to talk about Warped Tour and what is going on with it. I just recently found out about Warped Tour this year. So, without further ado, let's fold some clothes and talk about Warped Tour 2018. So Warped Tour started in the year 1995. Back then, it wasn't named the Vans Warped Tour, just Warped Tour, as Van was one of the many sponsors for the first one, but didn't become the primary sponsor until the following year in 1996. The Warped Tour for the past 24 years has been the biggest tour in Northern America during the summer each year. Now, unfortunately, unlike other tours, Warped Tour is, well, actually not unfortunately, but other tours are primarily composed of just single genre bands, whereas Warped Tour has a whole lot of different genres there. Originally, in 1995, it started out as an electronic, alternative type of tour, type of festival that progressed the following year into what it's primarily known as now as for punk rock. Throughout all the years, throughout the 24 years of its existence, Warped Tour has seen many bands come through. It has helped many bands grow in the essence of fame and popularity. It has also been the primary source or opportunity for many other people who normally can't get out to see a whole bunch of bands to go out and see a lot of their favorite bands in just one spot, one time, one day. As I stated before, Warped Tour is the biggest festival in North America, going off every summer since 1995, and has even been across the whole United States, while making 3 to 4 stops, depending on the year, in Canada. Many people have gone to their first concert, first festival of Warped Tour. That was their first one, is what I mean to say. Other people have gone to it year after year after year consecutively. Me, myself, I've been, I went twice while I was in Frisco. I went, probably going to say about 9 times. So this will be lucky number 10 for me. Fortunately for me, my little brother Kyle was in a band called Fight Fair, where he got to play where him and his band played Warped Tour for the entire summer. And I was able to get into 2 shows for free because of him. Now, the lead spokesman or lead man of Warped Tour, of this big giant festival, had stated last year that this year would be their final full country tour of Warped Tour. However, he did state for next year, for their 25th anniversary, that they have something big planned in the works. Whether or not that is a complete new tour or a tour with certain dates and only certain bands will be there, who knows? All we know is right now is that 2017 is slated to be the very last Warped Tour. Now, this has some ups and it has some downs. So hold on, let me take some things out of the dryer and then we'll get right back to this. All right, I'm back. So let's talk about some of the bands first of all. One of the most unique things that I recently found out in Warped Tour history is that there is a barbecue band. Now, what is the barbecue band? You may be asking. It's very simple. The barbecue band is a band that gets to play Warped Tour. In exchange, they prepare a barbecue feast for all the other bands and crew members for Warped Tour. That's a pretty sweet deal. Kind of wish my band knew about that. Ooh, we would have been all over that. I love the barbecue. Over the years, some barbecue bands, were, I believe one year, Dropstick Murphy was a barbecue band, and other bands like that. Since 2016 too, there has been another band that got to play all of Warped Tour in exchange for being a crew band, shall we say, helping setting up and tearing down Warped Tour and helping out all the other bands. This is just one way how Warped Tour has helped nameless and countless bands get exposure and help them find new fans. Also, it's just a real cool way to put on a show. I mean, come on, man. Especially in these years since Warped Tour is so big and a lot of people will do almost anything to play Warped Tour. That being said, to my knowledge, there's only been one band in the whole history, in the whole 24 years of Warped Tour to have its own private stage. And of course, that band was Blink-182, one of the great pioneers of punk rock, or pop punk, I shall say, not punk rock, but pop punk. But they started off as punk rock, and they moved into pop punk. So there's that for you. As I stated before, Warped Tour did not start off as how it is today. Started off, as more along the lines of a skating tour with some bands who were pretty big, but not super big, playing a show and helping promote other things. But I mean, primarily it was a music festival, don't get me wrong. So, it has also, as I said, branched out genre-wise. It's no longer just specifically a punk or a pop punk type of show. A couple of years ago, I saw As I Lay Dying, Devil Wears Prada, Under Oath. I've seen From First to Last. I've seen Whitechapel. I've seen Breathe Carolina, Pierce the Veil. That was actually the first time I saw Pierce the Veil live, was actually at Warped Tour 1, 2. Warped Tour is a great place so that you can experience all different types of music, all different types of genre. You can also, 95% of the bands there have their own private booth where at least once a time, at least once a day, they'll go out to their own booth and meet some of the fans. So it's a great spot. It's a great place to meet and greet with some of your bands. And if you pay for the fully loaded tickets or something like that, or if you go online to certain bands' websites, you can pre-order their new stuff and have it shall we say, fast pass cut to the front of the line for meet and greets with that band. So that's cool. But let's move on to the next subject of sponsors. I need to grab more clothes as well. Sponsorship is the name of the game. And that, my friends, might be one of the biggest reasons why Warped Tour is calling it quits after so long. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I haven't done too much research into the whole sponsorship deal aspect of this, but if you watch certain sporting events, there are certain sponsors like Nike who, the moment you do something wrong, they drop you right away. It's very hard to get a sponsorship, and it's even harder to maintain a good sponsorship relationship. Kind of like credit, really hard to get good credit, even harder to maintain it. Really easy to get bad credit. That being said, you would assume something so big, so vast, and has been going on for so long would not have a problem with sponsorship. Warped Tour has had many sponsors. Of course, their biggest and main sponsor would be that of Vans. As I stated before, Vans was not their main sponsor until the second year. When they became their main sponsor, Vans decided to lend their name to Warped Tour, also lending them their logo, and you can see it at the corner of the Warped Tour logo. Other famous companies, mostly in the lines of music, that have given sponsorship to Warped Tour would be Skull Candy, Ernie Ball, Fender, Gibson, although not so much more on Gibson's part, but these sponsors have been so gracious that they weren't even able to get certain stages named after them. So they have their own private stage. Normally the Ernie Ball stage, I like going to that because that's either the local bands or the new and up and coming bands. So it's always great to share and show your support for your local bands and people who are up and coming. Always go support your local bands. The Ernie Ball stage obviously is sponsored by Ernie Ball. Ernie Ball does do a battle of the bands, and they hold a contest in every city or area where Warped Tour is going to be. And what they do is they have a couple of shows lined up, or no, I think it might all be online now. Yeah, I think it's mostly online. But they'll get 30 some odd submissions, and they'll put them all up on the Warped Tour's website. It'll be vote for these bands to play your Warped Tour or the Warped Tour in your area. So then it becomes a battle of the bands online. And then I believe they take the top 5 Don't quote me on this. I'm not entirely sure how it's done, but I believe they even take the winner of the top 5 and let them play Warped Tour. I want to say it's the top 5 because then they also do another battle of the bands between those 5 bands and have them play on Warped Tour and let the people at Warped Tour decide. Or it could just be a national wide battle of the bands online, and the top like 10 bands get to play Warped Tour in their respective locations. It's something along those lines. So Warped Tour is by far one of the best times I've ever had with my brother and my bandmates. Just going and watching the bands play, it's phenomenal. So, is Warped Tour over? Is this the last that we're going to see of Warped Tour? Except for what we already know about. Next year, they're going to do something spectacular for the 25th anniversary. I don't know. I kind of feel that it is over. You can't. I feel like they've milked it as long as they can, and it's, there just comes a time when you have to realize not everything lasts forever, and you have to let it go. That being said, though, I strongly feel that if enough people were to cry out and say we want it back, I feel that Warped Tour would come back. I mean, it's something so many people look forward to every summer, or at least every other summer. Me and my friends, we stereotypically go once every 3 years, if not every year. So it is kind of hard to say. The way that the world is nowadays, anything is up in the air. Everything is up in the air. So you just don't know. For me personally, I do feel that 2019 will be its last year that this will be its last full year, and 2019 will be its last year unless, as I stated before, enough people come forth and say, we want Warped Tour to be back. We want it to come back. So, anyways, let's go put my clothes away because I'm done, and I'll give you, let's just go. Alright guys, we're back. I just finished putting away my clothes, so don't have to deal with that anymore. Anyways, back to Warped Tour. The impact of Warped Tour has been one big giant impact throughout the whole entire music community in the United States. Warped Tour helped solidify and help some bands, and also help up-and-coming bands get a big giant foothold. Some bands that helped out, that Warped Tour has helped out in this aspect, is Blink-182, My Chemical Romance, Fall Out Boy, Limp Bizkit, and even the Black Eyed Peas, if you can believe it. Black Eyed Peas was one of the first major groups to ever be on Warped Tour that weren't considered punk. This was back in 1999. Warped Tour, because Warped Tour appeals to such a wide audience out there, it helps people check out bands that they haven't seen or haven't even heard of, and all this in just one day. People come together and they're able to see some of their favorite bands out there. So, for my final thoughts, do I think this will be the last Warped Tour, barring next year's 25th anniversary? Yes, I do.
Do I think Warped Tour has a possibility of coming back? Yes, I do, but only if the community out there makes it apparent that they want another Warped Tour in the years to come. Me personally, I hate to see Warped Tour go away forever, and I hope it does come back. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. If you like this video, why don't you go ahead and hit that like button. Also hit the subscribe button too. That will help me out. And also just, give me some of your ideas, But until next time, I'm Black Boy in the Band saying, keep practicing.